Hello and welcome to another Seeds of Flourishing video. So today's video, and I'm going to try and get these to line up so that Thursday's video will always be an experience-based video. I don't know if I'd mentioned it in the previous video, but my plan is to do Wednesdays more of a relaxation-based flourishing video, Thursdays is experience-based, Saturdays music-based, and then Sundays book-based, around those lines. So yeah, this is the experience-based one. So I thought I'd do a video that I talk about the 5 favourite places that we visit when we're visiting the UK as visitors, as opposed to the 5 favourite places I visited when I lived in the UK. It's interesting, a couple of these places I never visited until after I moved out to Nova Scotia. These aren't in any particular order, and I'll sort of zoom out so you can see where they are in relation to the whole of the UK if you're not familiar geographically where these all are. So just like I say, no particular order. First up is Oxford. We had a great trip to Oxford. I think the last time actually we were in the UK, so before COVID kicked off. And I was trying to think for each of these, like, where is my favourite place to go in each of them. So in Oxford, I think the place I probably enjoyed the most was the visit to the Bodleian Library here, and I'm going to include links to the actual places, to their websites, in the description. Oops. But of course, if you're visiting Oxford, a large amount, well, loads of it is just accessible by walking. So, if you do visit it, you just, get a map and just walk around, which is what we did. And, there's, you've got the Bodleian Library, there's a fantastic bookshop. Blackwell's, which I think I've mentioned in a previous video. There's the covered market. Unfortunately, when we visited, this was on a day where nothing was particularly there wasn't anything at the covered market, I don't think. There's also over here, I think there's a fantastic music museum with like old instruments. There's even if you're interested, sorry, there it is. So I was getting muddled up here. No, it's down this road. So the Bate collection of musical instruments. If you're interested, they have a theremin there. So yeah, it's a really cool place to visit. When we stayed, I'm trying to think where we actually stayed at. It was pretty close to the train station. Oh, there Westgate Hotel. We stayed there. And from there we were just able to sort of walk around Oxford pretty easy. We were there for a couple of days. Another place I like to visit in the UK is Brighton. One of my favourite places was the Brighton Toy and Modelling Museum. I actually thought this had closed, but it's still open apparently. But again, in Brighton, great place to just wander around through the lanes. There's tons of shops to look around. There's around the Brighton centre, there's a big shopping precinct. But another quite nice walk is along, I think it's along New Church Road between Brighton and Hove, or Hove actually. If you come originally from that area, you'll know why they call it Hove actually. Yeah, because I used to have to come down to Hove to do Open University stuff when I was living there, and I often used to park in Brighton or along here somewhere and then walk down to the examination halls. It was quite a nice way of de-stressing before the exam, and then I'd walk back and do a bit of therapeutic shopping. The other fun thing is there's a really cool Punch and Judy along the seafront. I think it's really near to this big I-360, this moving observation tower as well. Anyway, yeah. So, one thing I forgot to do, let me just zoom out. So, I'm sure most people know that Brighton is on the south coast. There you go, Brighton in relation to London. Oxford, I forgot to zoom out. So Oxford, there's London, there's Oxford. Cambridge is up there. That was where we were supposed to visit in 2020 before all of our flights got cancelled. Bristol. So if you ever get a chance to visit Bristol, cool place to visit. We particularly enjoyed around this area, Wapping Wharf and Spike Island. There's a really cool museum here. But again, it's a nice place to just wander around if you've got a couple of days. Like we walked from, what we did came into, was it, let me just find it. Yeah, Temple Meads. Stayed at the Holiday Inn Express, which was fine. I actually had food there, like breakfast. And then just wandered around over to the Clifton Suspension Bridge. And then I think on the second day we sort of wandered around the shopping area. We did spend a lot of time sort of walking backwards and forwards around here. But yeah, we really enjoyed Bristol. The other thing, on one day, I think we had 2 days in Bristol and a day in Bath, is Bristol's a really good, what would you call it, like a travel hub. It's pretty easy. It was very easy to get down here from London. Looks quite a long way, and it takes a fair time on the train, but it's just a straight run through. But from Bristol we also went to Bath as well, and that's another place that you can just wander around fairly easily. And that's exactly what we did. We just arrived on the train and spent the whole day just walking around. Went to the Herschel Museum of Astronomy. Had a look around the Roman baths. Very cool. If I zoom out a bit further than I did, you'll see. So this is Wales over here. I have driven down to this part of the country, but definitely a lot easier on the train from London. Speaking of London, so when we visit London, what we tend to do now, we've had a couple of different strategies. When we first visited, there was a really reasonable hotel over in Heathrow Airport. And there was free buses to the airport, and we used to catch the underground goes all the way out there. Now it's a bit of a long journey on the underground, and over the years the price of the rooms at the hotel went up, so we switched from staying out there and then going up and down the underground every day to visit central London to actually staying around Paddington and using that as a base of operation. And the cool thing about this is, of course, you come out. We used to stay somewhere on one of these roads, I think, across from the Tesco Express. Yeah, the Point A. I don't know if that's still going. Stay there, and then within that, for us, like Regent's Park, Hyde's Park's all within reasonable. I mean, yeah, it's a fair trek, but it's all walking distance. And obviously the other nice thing is being close to Paddington. It's fairly easy to just hop on the underground and get to other places. So yeah, not too much of a problem. And then what we would do is, when we're staying in London, we'd buy some sort of travel card if needed, if we worked out it was worthwhile. It's difficult to know. There's so many cool places we've visited there over the years. Obviously, when I was living in the UK, I would regularly come up to London, both on the train and also partially drive and then take the tube, or back in the old days, drive all the way up sometimes. I wouldn't probably do that nowadays so much, but yeah, in the 80s, not so much of a big deal. But yeah, London Transport Museum, you've got Kensington Palace, Museum of Brands is really cool actually. Natural History Museum, of course, Madame Tussauds, and so on. And you can see that, all of these when we've gone there, often we'll each sort of plan a day, and so I'll sort of plan these routes where we'll get the underground over to somewhere and then walk in a circle. So one time we went all the way around here near the Houses of Parliament and Westminster Cathedral. And then finally, somewhere we always like to try and visit is the Pantiles. Nowhere special in particular here. Well, actually, sorry, I said the Pantiles, I meant Tunbridge Wells. So what we always tend to do when we visit Tunbridge Wells is, generally when we visit here, we're staying over at my parents' house. So we'll get some way of dropping us off at the top of the town at Royal Victoria Place, around there, and then over the course of the day work our way down to the Pantiles and get picked up from there. And it's another great place to wander around. There's a really nice park here, Calverley Park. There's also lots of cool shops down here, or there were. I don't know what state they're in now. If you walk down Camden Road, lots of little small shops. And of course, if you walk from here down, so at the top of the town down, like Mount Pleasant, there's always little places to pop into. And then on the way to the Pantiles as well, there's some nice shops around here. So yeah, it's my favourite places to visit in the UK when I'm over there. Oxford, Brighton, London, oh no, sorry, not London, Bristol, London, which I think everybody knows where that is, and then Tunbridge Wells, which is, if you're not familiar with Tunbridge Wells is, it's sort of, yeah, roughly halfway between London and Brighton. So thanks once again for watching. I hope you found this little video in the Seeds of Flourishing series interesting. Bye for now, and I'll catch you in the next video.